My name is James McKnight. I work for Diversified Agriculture as a service technician, and today we're going to be talking about our G2 standard gear. It comes in an 800-to-1 ratio. This is our second generation drive, which we had brought to the market in 2009. We will continue to produce this product as long as the market wants it. It can be readily recognized by its curved shape of the case, whereas 6 screws hold on our cover here. This drive comes with a 1/3 horsepower motor, which can be ordered in a 110 or 220 single phase. It can also be ordered in a 220 to 440 3-phase motor. The PCB relay set must match the voltage of the motor, but is basically the same relay set used in all of our DuraDrive models. The only exception with the PCB set is when you get into the 250s using the left-hand drives. We'll mention that whenever we cover the 250. With the long black belt, this drive is good for activating up to 240 feet of tunnel doors cabled 1-to-1. With the short red belt, this drive can operate up to 100 vents cabled 2-to-1. The reason we suggest the 2-to-1 cabling is to slow the vents down a little bit with this 800-to-1 ratio to avoid yo-yoing. This has been a very reliable drive for us. The limit switch mechanism does have a little bit of play in it, which can cause some nuisance shutdowns, which has been updated in our G3 model. This is our 3rd generation DuraDrive, introduced to the market in 2015. It has a square case with 4 screws holding on the cover. This case will stay consistent across all of the G3 models, but the bearings and gears inside of the case, as well as the motor flange, will differ. We can make these different combinations happen because of our double worm gear combination, which makes all of these combinations possible inside of the same case. The limit switch mechanism has also been improved from the G2, and this is to eliminate any nuisance shutdowns. The G3 DuraDrive comes in a 450, a 250, a 150, and a 650. These model numbers represent the approximate torque capabilities measured in metric newton meters. The models can also be identified by the color of the motor flange. This is a 450. It has a black motor flange. The 250 has a red motor flange, and the 150 has a gray motor flange. The 650 also uses this black motor flange, but the motor is larger. The nameplate on the side of the case also identifies the exact model number and the gear ratio if it needs to be identified. With the long black belt, the 450 can operate up to 240 foot of tunnel doors or 500 foot of curtain cabled 1-to-1. With the short red belt, the 450 can operate up to 100 vents cabled 2-to-1 to slow them down. With this cabling, they will be operating at about 1 foot per minute. The 450 comes in a bare single shaft or dual shaft like I have here for pipe driven applications such as up to 100 foot of tunnel shutters or up to 500 foot of roll up curtain. Here we have a couple of our G3 250s. It's available in a 750-to-1 ratio or a 500-to-1 ratio. It can be identified by its red flange here on the motor. It comes with a 1/4 horsepower motor that can be ordered in a 110 or 220 single phase or a 220 3-phase motor as well. Options come with a short red belt that extends 3 feet in each direction, or the long black belt which extends 7 feet in each direction. With the short red belt, the 250 is capable of operating up to 50 vents cabled 2-to-1 to slow them down. The belt travels at approximately 2 foot per minute, and the vents will be traveling at about half of that. With the long black belt, the 250 can operate up to 120 foot of tunnel doors or 250 foot of curtain. The 250 is also available in a bare single or dual shaft for pipe driven applications, such as operating up to 50 foot of tunnel shutters, 120 foot of diversified tunnel doors, or with a 500-to-1 ratio using a pipe and cord to operate vents. The standard limit switch drive mechanism comes with 62 teeth and has a max revolutions of 15. It is available to order a 64 teeth flex spline and wave generator to achieve 30 max revolutions. The 250 also comes in a left-handed option, primarily used when operating diversified tunnel doors. This is to ensure that both motors are facing down and that the emergency shaft can be easily accessed. All of our G3s come with the same relay set except for our left-handed 250. It has its own left-handed relay set. Here we have our G3 150 with the gray motor flange. It also comes with the same quarter horsepower motor that can be ordered in 110 or 220 single phase, as well as a 223 phase. The G3 150 was primarily designed to match the speed of the screw jack actuators and to be a direct replacement for the screw jack actuator. It comes in a 1500 to 1 ratio or 3000 to 1 ratio. That is the difference between moving 12 inches per minute or 6 inches per minute, which perfectly matches the 30 RPM motor of the screw jack machine or the 60 RPM motor of that same machine. The 150 is also available with our long black belt or our short red belt. It is not currently available with the dual shaft. Here we have our G3 650s. It is the newest member to the DuraDrive family and is the strongest models that we offer, primarily used for lifting heavy feed lines and nests. It comes in two basic configurations. One, we have our dual drum that comes with two 14-foot straps operating with a 500 to 1 ratio, and our dual shaft 650 for pipe driven applications that runs with a 750 to 1 ratio. The dual drum model is available with limit switches with a max revolutions of 15 or without limit switches to save cost. The dual shaft model is available in 15 max revolutions or 30 max revolutions. Both of these 650s can be ordered in either a half horsepower motor or a 3/4 horsepower motor, both of which can be a 220 single phase or a 223 phase. However, the single phase 3/4 horsepower motor is only available in a 6-wire configuration, which requires a hand drum switch to operate. With the 3/4 horsepower motor, the dual drum is capable of lifting of about 3,000 pounds at 3 foot per minute, and the dual shaft model lifts considerably more than that at around 10,000 pounds, depending on how it's configured. Wiring diagrams are available for both limit switch and no limit switch configurations. We have our short red strap, which travels 3 foot in each direction. We have our long black strap, which travels 7 foot in each direction. We can put this double black strap on any of our G3 models, which will travel 14 foot in each direction. We have our steel cable drum here that will operate cable one direction or two directions. There's no divider needed. We also have this single drum that will travel 14 foot in one direction, but we suggest using double mounting brackets, and the load that's being pulled needs to be directly in line with the drive to avoid twisting. If more strength is needed, we can double up our straps and pull a heavier load 7 foot in one direction, but we suggest putting a cable loop because one strap is going to be traveling faster than the other, and we want to keep even tension on both straps. So here we have our G2 mounting bracket and our G3 mounting bracket. The bolt hole pattern does differ a little bit from the G2 to the G3. When we're pulling a load in one direction, we'll double up our G3 brackets like you see here to avoid any twisting of the drive. For that same type of application, we've got a new mounting bracket coming out that will be known as the 650 mounting plate for pulling heavy loads in one direction. This here is our tunnel shutters brackets. This is our wall mounted bracket, and this is our post mounted bracket. This will go on the outer post of the doghouse. This bracket here is for our range doors and vents operating with a rack and pinion system. And this here is our climbing bracket for when using roll-up curtain.